John Calipari is looking to lead Arkansas to its first national title since 1994, but are they contenders or just minor players? Is this a good or bad prediction? Let's analyze it calmly. But first, subscribe to the channel and keep receiving Arkansas news. John Calipari arrived in Fayetteville carrying a track record that few coaches in college basketball can boast without exaggeration. He transformed UMass into a powerhouse, taking them to the Final Four, brought Memphis one step closer to the national title, and built a winning legacy in Kentucky that redefined expectations. Now, at the helm of Arkansas, the challenge is different, but no less significant. To return the Razorbacks to the top of college basketball and, perhaps, repeat a feat the program hasn't achieved since 1994. The question that naturally arises isn't whether Calipari knows how to win, but whether the current roster is ready to transform ambition into reality. The first year of the new cycle brought clear signs of progress. Arkansas reached the Sweet 16 again, something that, while not the ultimate goal of a coach with Calipari's resume, represents a concrete step in evolution within a larger process. This season, the team has a 16-6 record overall and a 6-3 record in conference games, numbers that reflect competitiveness in a demanding environment. The losses came early, such as the close game against Michigan State at the start of the season, and also in high-level matchups, such as against Duke, Houston, Auburn, and Kentucky. Still, Arkansas has shown the ability to compete and win important games, with impressive victories against Louisville, Texas Tech, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, results that help explain why the team remains well-positioned nationally. Looking at the program's starting point, the contrast with last season is evident. At that time, the Razorbacks had already accumulated 11 losses when they achieved their 16th victory and began the SEC with a negative streak that compromised their campaign. Even so, the team found a way to grow at the right time, surprising Kansas and St. John's in the NCAA tournament and only falling in overtime against Texas Tech, again in the Sweet 16. What we see now is a more solid Arkansas throughout the regular season, less dependent on late-game reactions and more aware of its own potential. The offense is the great calling card of Calipari's team. The numbers place the Razorbacks among the best in the country in offensive production, efficiency, and ball possession control. Arkansas's ability to score at a high tempo, distribute the ball well, and minimize errors makes them an uncomfortable opponent for any defense, especially in knockout games where offensive talent often prevails. The offensive efficiency measured by KenPom confirms this impression and reinforces the idea that the team has enough weapons to survive in March. At the same time, the offensive performance itself exposes areas that still need adjustment. The fast pace, one of the highest in Division I, takes its toll when the defense doesn't keep up. Difficulties with rebounds, especially defensive ones, and the number of second-chance points conceded to opponents explain why some losses have gotten out of hand. It's not just about cold numbers, but a pattern that appears in the toughest games. When Arkansas loses the rebounding battle, especially by allowing second chances, the game tends to slip away. In tournaments where every possession is valuable, this detail is often decisive. The defense today is the main question mark. The Razorbacks struggle with paint protection, allow high shooting percentages on two-point shots, and face difficulties containing teams that exploit physical play and offensive rebounding. Still, context is important. Calipari built much of his career adjusting teams throughout the season, using the schedule and experience in big games as a laboratory. Arkansas is not a finished product, but a team under construction that already presents a clear and competitive identity. When the focus shifts to the NCAA tournament, the scenario becomes more complex. Projecting a 6th or 7th seed naturally places Arkansas in a historically unfavorable zone. Statistics show that these positions frequently suffer early upsets and rarely reach the Final Four. The weight of history also comes into play. The program hasn't returned to the final stage since the mid-1990s, and Calipari himself has experienced painful eliminations in recent editions of the tournament. Still, reducing Arkansas to a mere extra ignores an essential factor: experience. What would you bet? I'll wait for you to share your opinion.